Very well, thanks for dropping by. Off you go.
So the four horsemen, or the five horsemen, are still at Lucasfilm up in the Presidio, and there actually might be somebody going through the files up in Burbank too. I want to turn your attention to something that one of Cameron's Patreons, Stacy Ballard, found in her daily internet cruising, a administrative assistant which means secretary, to the vice president and director of development at Lucasfilm. Now, this is a pretty kind of low-level area to be running around in, but the guy, Max Taylor, right here, has that position now. It's in Burbank, not up in San Francisco. So this is Lucasfilm, Los Angeles. And this guy came from Bad Robot. And he's been likely connected to a lot of questionable projects throughout his career. And he's probably deeply involved in The Acolyte. So what's going on here? These things are changing. The ad was on a Disney website. They pulled it, and it was on Google too as well, which is you can't really see the ad anymore, but you can read what it was about, which is where I was really curious as to where it would be, which is Burbank. See, you got to understand. I think a lot of these main people might necessarily not be up in San Francisco. I think the film people are most likely going to be in Burbank. So you go back, they go back and forth probably, up and down the coast. And it's a lovely drive if you drive it, I'm just saying. But Carrie Beck is literally listed as number 3 at Lucasfilm, and she's the executive vice president of film, etc., etc. It's not her executive assistant. So we really have to ask what's going on. And it looks like at least some people have already left, but not the higher echelon. The horsemen obviously are being very careful about how they go about investigating what's been going on. The credit card thing just absolutely blew me away. People were literally taking company credit cards and spending money on them. All right, we have a $50 million quote unquote sizzle reel that nobody outside of a very few people have ever seen. The Acolyte. Where'd the money come from? You know, why haven't we heard anything else about the Karen McCarthy issue? Okay, this is just all of this is going to end up resting on this woman's head because she's part of the problem. But if you look if you look at some of the things that I pulled from the trial file or the court documents, you'll see that there were people in Burbank that are being like pointed out in the documents, and people up in the Presidio being pointed out in documents. So my thing is, this infection is everywhere and all at once.
The time has come. Execute Order 66.
So where does it leave Kennedy? Well, the rumors floating around, Doomcock, etc., said she's trying to work out the basically the deal to leave, and I really don't think that. I think what they're doing is wasting her time while they gather evidence. Okay, she wants a 2-movie deal, but if she's connected in any way to what they found about the Acolyte, and I know where it came from, I know who had it. So she is connected indirectly, but if that's what they've got, she's not going to get any deal. But apparently it's being reported that I'm going to kind of argue with because it doesn't make any sense. It might make sense on her side, but Bob Iger's never gonna say yes to it. She wants a 2-movie deal with her name as executive assistant, so she can walk on the set anytime she wants. And it's being reported as the Ray movie, and I don't see Disney saying, "Why, yes, Kathy, you can have your Ray movie." If you look at it, it doesn't make any sense. So when people bring it up, I just say, look, why would they agree to this? Okay, think about it. You're not going to make any money. They're the ones that would have to foot the bill. And allowing her anywhere near a movie means the budget will be overwrought and it won't do well. Okay, just everything she touches turns to garbage, okay? So I don't think she's going to get that deal. And honestly, when I think about them negotiating her departure package, I think that what they're doing is they're slow rolling her. And because they don't want to give her a dime. They don't want to give her any deal whatsoever. And really, you can't blame them. She has wasted so much of Disney's valuable time, resources, when they calculated that the Galaxy's Edge Hotel would lose $4 billion. That whole fucking place was her idea. It was her idea. All right, this is part of the reason why it failed. Too expensive, too small, sequel trilogy. Yuck. Okay. Star Wars under her doesn't resemble Star Wars. And it looks to me like the Horsemen want to bring it back and they have to remove everything that she did. Now, I've seen writers for the High Republic talking about Phase 3. Justina Ireland was brain farting all over the place about it. I think this is their last stand. Again, why continue that series if they're not making any money at it? Again, I went to the BookScan website. My mother-in-law has sold more novels of her first independently published novel, she did it herself, than Claudia Gray has for Into the Darkness, okay, which starred the gay, celibate, asexual gay or pilot, which makes about as much sense as if calling my dog a cow. Well, he's almost the size of a cow, but he's not. It's canine. It's a dumpster fire. Okay, it is a dumpster fire. Now, Iger, again, we have to remember that the earnings call is coming on Tuesday. I will be here to listen. I will be sitting at the kitchen table with his breakdown, listening to everything he has to say, and I have to admit, I don't think it's going to look good. But I do see a lot of hope because of the changes they're making. In fact, Ron DeSantis, not my favorite person, by the way, but I do, look, if I had to choose between Governor DeSantis and Charlie Crist, I'd pick DeSantis, but not for president. Basically, he had the Reedy Creek Improvement District, the people that are now running it, eliminate DEI there. So the diversity, equity, and inclusion bullshit is gone. Okay, so this is what's going on. This is where Disney is right now. Okay, they're pulling away from what hurt them. And honestly, I'm going to be very honest. I don't think we'll see a Bud Light out of these guys. They've lost enough money. Bob Iger understands. He made a mistake, and now he's got to rectify it, and that's what's going on. But I wanted to point out the fact that they were looking for an executive assistant for that vice president of film production, Max Taylor. It's an interesting little mystery going on there. And obviously they got 75,000 resumes, so they have to go through them all. And we'll just see what happens. We'll just see where this goes. And, I think Tuesday might be a watershed. I think before Tuesday might be a watershed. I think after Tuesday might be a watershed. I can't make predictions because I think Disney is slow rolling Kennedy here as they investigate whatever activity was going on up in the Presidio, and I think down in Burbank. And I think they're looking for criminal activity, at least as far as the Acolyte goes, and they might have found it. Okay, we just have to watch. This is Steph signing out. I'll see you around the galaxy.